Diplomas, and I am the proud graduate and principal of Parkersburg High School. I am delighted to welcome you to the 2018 commencement exercises for Parkersburg High School. We will now have the procession of the class of 2018. Members of the faculty at Parkersburg High School will follow the seniors. You may remain seated for the procession. The Big Red Band, under the direction of Mr. Dan White, will play the processional. Mr. White. this time, my former fourth grade student and vice president of the senior class, Sierra Hoy, will come give the welcome.
Hi, I'm Sierra Hoy, and I'm the vice president for the class of 2018. I'm honored to welcome you to the 2018 commencement of Parkersburg High School. It's been an exciting year filled with ups and downs, heartbreak and triumph, joy and sorrow, but now it's coming to an end. We welcome you whether you are family, friends, or honored guests. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the commencement of the class of 2018.
Will everyone please stand for the national anthem and remain standing for the Parkersburg High School alma mater. It is my pleasure to introduce the following members of the Wood County Board of Education. Please stand and remain standing as I call your name. Mr. Lawrence Hasbargen, Mr. Rick Tennant, and Mr. Ron Tice. Please show your appreciation to these board members for their dedication to Wood County schools. It is my pleasure to introduce the following newly voted in board members of the Wood County Board of Education. Please stand and remain standing as I call your name. Mrs. Debbie Hendershot, Mr. Rick Alcott, and Mr. Justin Raber. Please show your appreciation to these board members for their newly dedicated to Wood County schools. It is also my privilege to introduce members of the Wood County Administration. Please stand and remain standing as I call your name. Superintendent, Mr. John Flynn. Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Mike Fling. Director of Curriculum Instruction, Mrs. Christy Willis. and Coordinator of Curriculum Instruction, Mr. Jason Wires. Please show your appreciation of leadership by showing all your dedicated individuals. It is also my great pleasure to introduce a West Virginia native from Farmington, West Virginia, Senator Joe Manchin. Representing our partner in education, DuPont, Tammy Barnett, if she could please stand, show her appreciation. Parkersburg High and DuPont have been partners in education for 29 years, and we thank DuPont for all they have done, and we look forward to many more years as partners. I would also like to thank Kona Ice. This is their second year as our partner in education. Please show your appreciation for their service to PHS from Kona Ice. I would also like to introduce the assistant principals at Parkersburg High School. Please stand and remain standing as I call your name. Mrs. Whitney Gazelle, Mr. Jeffrey Kisner, Mr. Jason Potts, and Mr. Chris Way. Please show your appreciation for the hard work individuals. I would also like to introduce our counselors. Please stand and remain standing as I call your name. Mrs. Maggie Onek, Mrs. Carla McKay, Mr. Brian Sprague, Ms. Jane Tebay, and Mrs. Cynthia Woody. Please show your appreciation to these dedicated individuals. Our senior advisors are Chandra Barr, Trina Poling, and joining us on stage, Mr. Joe Stevens. These three dedicated teachers worked with the senior class on many activities, including Color Day, creating the senior flag, and commencement speakers, to name a few. Thank you for all your hard work in making this a year a special one for our senior class. Please show your appreciation to the senior class. I would also like to thank the secretarial staff for their day-to-day work in keeping our school running as smoothly as it does. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the custodial staff at Parkersburg High School for their tireless work in preparing the stadium for this evening's graduation. They spent many hours setting up chairs, moving the stage, preparing the field for tonight's celebration. Please show your appreciation for their tireless work. And last but certainly not least, seated to our graduates are the finest teachers in Wood County. They are the ones responsible for the molding and shaping of these students. These teachers give countless hours outside of the classroom to ensure our students receive the finest education possible. The administration thanks you from the bottom of our hearts for all that you do for our students. Please join me in showing appreciation and dedication to our teachers for their tireless effort. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce the Parkersburg High School award-winning a cappella choir under the direction of Mrs. Pam McLean. Mrs. McLean.
Consecrate the place and day to music and Cecilia. Consecrate, 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 consecrate. the trees, and in the spring the robins sing. When apple blossoms whisper in the breeze, and there is music in the flashing streams, and joy in fields of daffodils. Valleys of my
Our first speaker this evening has served in several leadership capacities on various associations, including Chairman of the National Governors Association, Chairman of the Southern States Energy Board, President of the Council of State Governments, Chairman of the Democratic Governors Association, and Chairman of the Southern Governors Association. He has served as Secretary of State from 2000 to 2004, and his office was known for excellent customer service. He was a state legislator from 1982 to 1996, where he earned a reputation for standing up for West Virginians. He also became a successful businessman after attending West Virginia University on a football scholarship. He is an avid pilot, outdoorsman, hunter, angler, and motorcyclist. He has been married for more than 4 decades to his wife, Gail, of Beckley, West Virginia. They have 3 children and several grandchildren. May I introduce to you, since 2010, the Senator of the great state of West Virginia, Senator Joe Manchin.
Thank you, Principal DeVos, for that kind introduction. Let me say to Ms. McLean, My Home Among the Hills is my favorite song. And when I was governor, it was sung to me everywhere I had attended or made a speech. I've never had it sung any better. Thank you. Very proud, very proud. To the entire staff, to the Big Red Pride, Parkersburg High School, congratulations to each and every one of you. Celebrating 150 years as a high school, 100 years in this location, and one of the oldest educational institutions in the state. I'd like to congratulate all of you who make this such a wonderful educational experience and a life experience, because it truly is. To the students, the parents, the families, and friends, all of those of you sitting up there beaming with pride, some of you thought they would never see this day, some of you didn't want this day to come, and some of you never could wait for it to come quick enough. I understand. I've been there. To all of the seniors, what I want to say to you all is, this is your day. The journey starts today. If you look around, some of you might not see each other for quite a few years, maybe never again in your lifetime, but the memories will always be here. That relationship, that association you had, that special friend, maybe even the person you thought you didn't like that much, maybe the person you didn't get along with or had a quarrel fight with, that can all be done and changed over. Someone said, those at the top of the mountain didn't fall there. Think about it. Anybody on the top of the mountain had to climb there. And that's when your journey begins. It begins tonight. You're climbing that mountain. Won't be someone telling you what you're doing right or wrong every minute of your day, thinking they're overshadowing you and over controlling your life, but basically it's up to you now. It's the foundation. There's something about all of us. We're a product of our environment. You are who you are by where you was raised and who you were raised by. There's someone special in that stand tonight for you. There's someone that sacrificed for you, that did without, that loved you unconditionally. No matter what you did, right or wrong, they were always there for you. If you haven't had a chance lately, if you haven't taken the time lately to say, thank you, I love you. Thank you for what you've done. Give them a hug and a kiss tonight before you leave this ceremony. Tell them how much they mean to you. Because unconditional love is something pretty special. If you have unconditional love in your life, you're a privileged child. You don't have to live in the fanciest house, the fanciest neighborhood. You don't have to have all the money in the world. If you have someone that you know every day loves you, you're privileged. That didn't happen. There's over 7 billion people live on Mother Earth. And I'll guarantee you one thing, you're the luckiest in the world. If you were born in America, if you're a United States citizen, you've hit the jackpot. You have hit the jackpot. I don't care where you lived. I don't care. Maybe you didn't have the unconditional love you desired. But you're still hit the jackpot. You're here. You can do anything you want to do. Now you got to think of it this way. Okay, you hit the jackpot. What are you going to do with it? In this class right now, we have 1 National Merit finalist. We have 4 National Merit Scholarship Award winners. We have 70 students receiving the Promise Scholarships. 5 AP Scholars, 4 AP Scholars with honors. We have 4 AP Scholars with distinction, 1 National AP Scholar. 12 students enlisted in the U.S. Armed Forces. Thank each and every one of you. You hit the jackpot. Now you got to think, what am I going to do? I got all this new wealth. What do I do with this new wealth? It's really what you have. You've got the wealth of life.
You can do anything you want to do. Are you going to blow it all? Just throw it away? Are you going to invest it? Are you going to share it? You've got to make that decision, what you're going to do with this newfound wealth of yours. Because it is truly the wealth. You can't buy it anywhere else in the world. It's only in America that you get this opportunity. I don't care how many of you all think that maybe I screwed up, maybe I didn't do as good. There's not one of you sitting there that doesn't think you can do better. If I asked you, did you do as good as you could do in school? Did you study as hard as you could do? Did you make the effort that you could have made? Could you have tried a little harder? Every one of you to a T will say yes. If I said, did y'all make some mistakes? I hope you did. I hope you made some mistakes because you wouldn't be human if you didn't. Cicero said to err is human. You're a human being. You're expected to make mistakes. Do you know why people don't set goals? How many of you set a goal? In your own mind, think about it. How many of you set goals? How high did you set those goals? Did you think that they were so high they were unreachable? Just think about this. Your generation, you should be shooting for the Mars. You should be setting your goal to shoot for the Mars. Go to Mars. And guess what? If you'll miss, you might still land up on the moon. That's not too bad. But you've got to set a goal. You've got to have something to shoot for every day. You can't just sit back and let someone pull you along. You're the leaders. How many kids around the world don't get a chance for an education? I'll share this one story with you. It's been in my mind and it'll never leave me as long as I live, to my dying breath. I'm in Kabul, Afghanistan in 2006. I've got all these guards around me taking me from very dangerous places. I'm leaving downtown Kabul to go to Bagram Air Force Base. And so those who have served, some of you in the guard up there have been there. I was there as a governor in 2006 to visit our troops. And they had me in armored vehicles, all these weapons and everything, making sure nothing happened to somebody from America that happens to be in the political arena. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. We start down through town, and I see maybe 50 little girls. Now, they were little, from 6 years old probably to 17 years old, and they had little white scarves on their head. This is a war-torn area. The place is blown all to bits. And I couldn't believe it. I said, what in the world? Here I am in an armored vehicle with all this military protection and firepower around me, and here's these little girls walking through a war zone. I said, why are they out there? It was the first time they got to go to school to get an education, to learn to read and write, to be literate. The first time. They never thought they'd have that opportunity. They were willing to walk and risk their life walking through a war zone to get what you all get every day, to what all of us have been privileged to, an education. It's pretty special. Now your day's going to come when you're going to have to share something and give something back, and I know that'll happen. I've said this also. There's not another country in the world that can take us on militarily. We have the greatest military in the world. They're not going to take you on militarily in your lifetime. We're the best. They're not going to take you on economically. We have the greatest economy in the world. We have a $20 trillion GDP. That's every year $20 trillion of economy. China's about 11.5, and everybody falls off the radar screen. They don't think they have to take you on militarily or economically. You know why? They think your generation is going to turn it over. They don't think you'll be educated well enough or be clean enough. A lack of addiction. We have more drug addiction than any other country on earth. They think because of your lack of cleanliness, not being sober, or not being educated well enough, they'll just turn it over. The new superpower will take over. It won't be the United States of America, and they think it'll happen within your generation. That's exactly what the other part of the world is thinking right now. I've got news for them. They don't know the big red I know. They don't know the big reds that I know. You're not going to let us down. You've never let us down. There's never been a generation that's ever let the previous generation down, and you won't either. You're going to find a cure for this drug addiction. You're going to find out why so Americans think they have to have some substance to get them through on a daily basis. You're going to find civility within the political ranks. There'll be some of you, I might be talking to the next United States Senator sitting right here. I might be talking to the next governor of the state of West Virginia, the next United States congressperson. I hope I am. I hope you step to the plate. I hope you bring civility back. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican. Be a West Virginian and be an American. Be on Team America. That's all you have to do. That's all. Take care of everybody. Try to find the common answers and move our country forward. Let me tell you, the passion that you have, my father used to say, the only thing new in this life is a pair of eyes. Everything else has been copied to mimic. If you want to be the best in your class, whatever you want to do in life, figure out who is the best, who's done the best in that field, whatever your field may be, and then reverse engineer it. Figure out, okay, they did this to get where they are. I can do even more, and I can be better. There's nothing magical. It's not rocket science. You just have to outwork everybody else, and you have to have a passion. If you don't have that passion, God help us all. American poet Ralph Waldo Emerson said it best. Life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. You will start creating yourself tonight. Today is your day. You've graduated. You've made it through the primary and secondary education that we afford every child in America. It's up to you to take it where you want it to go from here. All of you have to have some skill set. You don't have to have a 4-year baccalaureate degree, but you have to have a skill set. There's 5 promises every one of you all should make to your children and the next generation coming after you. Your parents made it to you. Your grandparents made it to them. First of all, every child needs to have a loving, caring adult in their life. That unconditional love I spoke about, every child has to have that. Every child should have a safe place, some place they know that harm will not enter them. It might be your house, it might be a neighbor's house, it might be another member of the family's house. Every child should have a healthy start. That's why we work so hard to make sure that you have opportunities for nutritional food, whether it be breakfast and lunches in your school system. Every child should be taught a livable skill. You're on your way to that. You got to take it the rest of the way yourself now. The 5th thing we can't promise you. We can't teach you at all. It's up to you. Every child should grow to be a loving, caring adult and give something back. You learn that by who raised you. You are who you are by people sitting in this stand. You're going to learn from them and people you admire. If someone showed you it's better to give than receive. Always offer something. Always try to be better than what you can be. Always be better than what you know you are. I'm going to leave you with one thing. I want you to remember this. How many times have you been traveling out of state and someone will ask you where you're from? And you know it's coming, right? You say West Virginia, and they might say, is that close to Richmond? We've all heard that one, haven't we? And then they tell a joke. Sometimes we tell a joke on ourselves. Here's what I want you to do. I want every one of you to do this. I want you, when you're traveling outside the state of West Virginia, I want you to swell up with pride because you know someone's going to say, where are you from? And I want you to be anticipating that question. When that question comes, here's what I want you to do when you answer it. Oh, let me tell you about the little state that I come from. I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but let me tell you. We have more veterans per capita than any other state. We fought more wars and conflicts. We shed more blood, lost more lives for the cause of freedom than any other state. We've also done the heavy lifting. We've mined the coal that made the steel, that built the guns and ships, built the factories, built the middle class. We have done it all. Anything and everything this country has needed, my little state has done. And guess what? The good Lord blessed us with the most beautiful scenery you've ever seen. My little state's called West Virginia. Why don't you come? And when you do, you'll probably want to stay. Don't ever leave us. Come back. God bless each and every one of you, and go out and get them now. Big Red, go. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Manchin, for coming out of your busy time to speak to our students. At this time, I'd like to introduce Katie Farnash, our senior class president.
I thought high school would be more like High School Musical, but it was a lot less choreography and a lot more dress code. I went into my senior year of high school thinking that it would be my best year. It was difficult, but it was important. Important because it would be the year I made crucial, life-affecting decisions. It would be the year I'd find some of my best friends. It would be the year I had to say goodbye to my friends and family. No longer are we high schoolers, but we are adults. Recently, I read a letter I wrote freshman year, and I realized how much high school has matured me. It is time to grow up and move on. What you do now matters. Your story has just begun. You're still here, it's over. It's time for you to go out and start your own chapter. We have spent 18 years of our lives being told what to do. Now it is our turn to decide our own path, go on our own road. No longer are we the little ducks following each other on the right side of the hallway. No one is there to tell us which side is the right side. Go home. I'm not saying go home and sit on the couch, but go to your new home, your new path. Home is where you want it to be. Maybe it's studying engineering or going off to serve our country. Go to your new home using the knowledge and lessons you've learned here. But remember, you'll always be a Big Red and always have a home here. Go. Strive for your goals. The only person holding you back is yourself. If you let people tell you what you want to do, you will never get to go where you want to go. The road is not always clear, and you will face obstacles, but remember to stay true to yourself. In the end, the final decision is up to you. Who you want to be, what you represent, follow your path with pride and dignity. Stay involved. My most fond memories were made on the sports teams and club I participated in. I remember my first day of cross country thinking it was going to be hard and exhausting. Little did I know that I'd make lifelong friends and develop a strong love for the sport. Finally, I will leave you with this final quote said by a good friend of mine, an even more wonderful role model. Be kind, work hard, and have fun. Thank you. And now, speaking as valedictorian, Anna Fada.
Good evening, friends, family, teachers, and fellow graduates. It's been a long 4 years for us, but Parkersburg High School has been waiting on us even longer. This day has been 100 years in the making, 100 years of Big Red tradition. Of course, things have changed since 1918, but the lessons PHS graduates take from the school stand the tests of time. The first class to graduate from Parkersburg High School from this building consisted of 3 students. Today, there are about 350 of us following in their footsteps who can't wait to graduate. And this journey really took off 4 years ago. Freshman year brought many of us into this school for the first time, and with that came a lot of change. The first time I ever thought, I can't wait to graduate, was the day I read my 9th grade schedule. I had gym class first period. Not to mention, was I supposed to fight my way to a locker bay every morning and take courses with upperclassmen? I really couldn't wait to graduate. But when I think back to 9th grade now, I don't think about how intimidated I was. Instead, I remember listening to the radio during science class and accidentally catching my lunch on fire in the cafeteria microwave. I remember starting to find a space for myself in clubs like theater and key club that I hadn't even known existed until a few days prior. I imagine those first 3 graduates had to find their way just like we did. And so we have all learned that though we were excited to graduate even then, high school wasn't that bad. We learned how to get along with so many other people, how to begin to find our own places, and that metal should not be microwaved. The first graduates of PHS have an inordinate amount of firsts attached to them, but then again, so do we. High school is definitely a time for firsts. Take sophomore year as an example. Not only did I take my first class with over 40 students in it, I also acted in a competition show, and I played The Floor is Lava for the first time. That was exciting. And the new experiences didn't end with sophomore year. They just kept coming. My friends and I started to wonder if it was going to slow down, if maybe we could get 8 hours of sleep again. The answer was no. But this was kind of our own faults. Between football games and classes and clubs and social drama, who would have time to take a break? A well-known artist once said, "The years start coming and they don't stop coming." And that's how we're here today, after 4 years that have both seemed to last forever and take no time at all. When PHS opened, it had 38 classrooms. Now there are close to 100 classrooms, but it's not the number of classrooms that matter. It's what happens inside them. And since compiling a list of all the great things PHS teachers do would undoubtedly outlast my time frame, I'll keep it brief. To the teachers who explain concepts over and over until we understand, to the teachers who make us better people, to the teachers who let us eat lunch in their rooms, to the teachers who laugh with us, and to the teachers who teach us whether we want them to or not, thank you. We've spent 8 hours a day and 180 days a year in your hands. Do some basic algebra, and that adds to over 5,700 hours, and that's not even counting the time we spend with administrators and parents who are just as capable. Our teachers are capable of making a change in as little as a class period, and so we shouldn't be surprised that given so many hours, they've taken newly minted high schoolers to young adults. And our senior year has been the finishing touch. We're ready to head out after a year of polishing and perfecting. Not to say that it was perfect. Parts of this year were confusing, exhausting, and downright hard to stomach. But I'd say the rough memories are dwarfed by the good, including but not limited to Flapjack Fridays, state competitions, choir and theatrical performances, and most simply, our own friendships. And really, that's all you can reasonably ask for from any school year. I'll take my leave with a nod to the past. The students of this 100th year graduating class really don't resemble those students of the first graduating class from 1918. We have more classmates, a bigger school, and a color day theme that they wouldn't even begin to understand. But the values Parkersburg High School instilled in them have also been instilled in us, and we will carry them forward to the many places my classmates and I will go. Our Big Red experience will be our link in the years to come. Many of us will leave Parkersburg and our communities here, communities we spent much of our lives being nourished by. That is one thing all graduating classes have in common. And I found that the closing statement of the class of 1918's graduation student speaker works just as well today as it did then. We shall go from you in body, but the spirit of our old school shall ever dominate our lives. And on behalf of the class of 18, I bid you the bitter word which closed all earthly friendship and finished every feast of love. Farewell. Our next speaker will be Nia Fernandez.
Good evening, family, faculty, friends, and fellow graduates, and congratulations, class of 2018. Our journey began 4 years ago. We stepped into the portals of the biggest high school, which also bore a striking resemblance to the state penitentiary. Fear and excitement coursed through our veins. We were lost, the tardy bell was ringing. How would we survive the next 4 years? Class of 2018, we did it. Yeah. Our class chose the words of Ferris Bueller as our motto. You're still here, it's over. Go home, go. I was apprehensive about this quote at first. Is it really our time? Are we ready? We waited for this day, but now that it's here, we don't want to go. Yet, we must. We are about to say one of the hardest goodbyes. But as they say, how lucky are we to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard? As I look back on my time in the Red Locker halls, I know how far we have come. It is our time to go into this world and be the difference. Now, I think my 7-year-old self would be pretty upset if I didn't share these wise words of Hannah Montana with you. Here we are now. Everything is about to change. We face tomorrow as we say goodbye to yesterday. A chapter ending, but the story's only just begun. A page is turning for everyone. Class of 2018, we bookmark today, as it is the first page of the rest of our lives. Mark Twain said, "The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why." In a few minutes, we receive our license to drive the road of life to our answer. Like all roads, there will be potholes. I think we're all used to that. But we are well prepared to navigate them with confidence and arrive at the destination of our dreams. This would not have been possible without the help of our wonderful teachers, staff, and administrators. Thank you for going above and beyond the call of duty every day. As I look back on my own acceptance into Harvard University, I know I could not have reached this dream without Parkersburg High School. Thank you to my family, and on behalf of all graduates, I'd like to give a special thank you to all our families here. Without your love and support, none of us would be sitting here today. These last 4 years have been amazing. High school is one of the most phenomenal experiences to go through, with truly some of the most wonderful people. But there are also aspects of high school that are not only unavoidable, but unwanted. We've been in these halls, and we've seen the stresses, the popular culture, the quality points. And a lot of times, it feels like there is no one on your side. But if there's going to be no one on your side, then at least you have to be on your side. You have to be rooting for yourself, because no one is going to want something more for you than yourself. There's going to be people telling you you can't do something, that you're not worthy of something. But please just don't take this in. It's irrelevant. No one knows the future, so keep people around you that boost you up, not those that tear you down. Look to yourself for strength and not others for validation, because when we become our own strengths, that's when we find fulfillment. And what's helped me most throughout high school are the 10 Paradoxical Commandments by Dr. Kent Keith, which I read 4 years ago. Mother Teresa thought these commandments were so important that she hung them on the wall for her children in Calcutta. As I've navigated the halls of high school and streets of my community, I have always kept the Paradoxical Commandments in the back of my head. And I hope as I read these to you, you all will do the same and carry them with you as you journey throughout your life. So here goes. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. The biggest men and women with the biggest minds can be shot down by the smallest men and women with the smallest minds. Think big anyway. People favor underdogs, but only follow top dogs. Fight for a few underdogs anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Build anyway. People really need help, but may attack you if you do help them. Help people anyway. Parkersburg High School, thank you for shaping me into the person I am today. While none of us know where we'll be in 10 years, what we do know is that we are Big Reds, and that is something we will always be proud to be. As we move our tassels from left to right, we are forever grounded to Parkersburg High School by the values and people that have been in our lives the last 4 years. So take what you have learned and go into this world. And with that, I leave you with the 10th and final paradoxical commandment. Give the world the best you have and you'll get kicked in the teeth. Well, Parkersburg High School, class of 2018, give the world the best you have anyway, because you're a Big Red. And once a Big Red, always a Big Red. Thank you.
Before we present diplomas, I would like to say this. Often I will be around in the community and people come up to me and say, you know, Mr. DeMoss, you're doing such a great job. And I always respond with the same thing. I'm only as good as the people I surround myself with, and I'm only as good as these students are. And they're tremendous people, and I appreciate all of them. Thank you. A few other people I didn't recognize. Where's Officer Moorhead at? I see him standing back there. Where you at, Chris? This guy is our school resource officer. You wouldn't have any idea what he deals with on a daily basis. He puts out more fires and deals with more issues and just makes our student body so great. And I wanted to say, thanks, Chris. You do an awesome job. And there are two ladies that are sitting on the stage that were not introduced, and both of them I'm married to. One of them is my wife at home, and the other one is my work wife, because she tells me what to do as well. And I want to say thanks to Robin, my real wife, and Carla, who's my work wife, because without either one of them, I probably wouldn't be alive. So I want to say thanks to them as well. We will now have the presentation of diplomas. We ask that the audience help us show the proper respect for each graduate by remaining seated. Please remember that the entire audience needs to be able to hear each name read. We appreciate your cooperation in helping us ensure that each member of the class of 2018 is honored properly this evening. Mr. Hasbargen, Mr. Flint, members of the Wood County Board of Education, faculty, staff, parents, and guests, as principal of Parkersburg High School, I certify that the seniors to be presented with diplomas at this graduation have met all the credit requirements as set forth by the state of West Virginia. This year, our counselors will be announcing their section of the alphabet. So to start off with, Miss Jane T. Bay, you're ready.
Lauren Ashley Parsons. Jovar G. Adams, Jr. Deshaun Khalil Akers. Yara A. Alleman. Noelle Nicole Aldridge. Mackenzie Renee Allman. Jillian Serene Anderson. Tanner Patrick Andrews. Adriana Marie Ashwell. Briley Dawn Atkinson. DeCory Jerome Atkinson, Jr. Taylor Marie Atkinson. Zion Taylor Atkinson. Christian Michael Axman. Josie Michelle Bailey. Logan Michael Bailey. Logan Reese Bailey. Savannah Nicole Bayless. Michael Lawrence Burchett. Kaylee Ray Barker. Matthew Stephen Barnes. Hannah Ray Barnett. Carrie Lee Bennett. Casey Ann Bennett. Chase Matthew Bennett. Haley Stone Bennett. Abrielle Nicole Betts. Carly Paige Black. Julia Lee Blair. Emma Sue Blosser. Kimberly Ronell Bradsher. Miranda Joanne Braham. Cohen Richard Brammer. Louisa Paula Brower. Chad Michael Brinker. Kelsey Tamara Brown. Michael Kenneth Buckley. Seth Michael Bunner. Kayla Raquel Burchard. Jacob Wayne Burdett. Joshua Ryan Burdett. Madison Page Burdett. Callista Jade Burke. Courtney Justine Butcher. Jasmine Sierra Byers. Camry Alexis Hope Byers. Tyler John Kincaid. Amy Laveda Cantwell. Carrington Rose Capps. Zane Tanner Carden. Stephen Earl Carter. Eric Stephen Carney. Danielle Rose Carr. Abby Nicole Cardy. Blake Daniel Casto. Jenna Mackenzie Chapman. Tanner David Cochran. I can't. Caden Reese Collins. I will miss you. Brianna Alexia Collins. Jacob Alexander Cooper. Autumn Erin Nicole Korn. David William Couch. Faith Elizabeth Coverett. Chloe Renee Crabtree.
Congratulations, man.
Donald Douglas Cross. Carrie Allison Cross.
Look at this guy. Congratulations, man.
Seth Wayne Harold Daly. Skylar Yvonne Davis Owens. Cameron Michael Day. Madison Kate Delegati. William LeGarrette Enrique Densmore. Congratulations. Colin Alexis DeRuder. Wyatt Austin DeSelms. Jackson Parker Duvall. John Ian Edward Dominic IV.
Congratulations.
Emily Dawn Dooley.
Ian, congratulations. You're very welcome.
Harmony Peace Doyle. Stephen Patrick Jevieski. Adriana Marie Duvall. And now introducing the next group is Mrs. Onig.
Justin Tyler Eaton. Congratulations. Brandon Lee Edmond. Brianna Michelle Edmond. Michael Anthony Edmond. Angel Rose Edwards. Tiffany Lee Nicole Edwards. Gavin Michael Elliott. Joseph Elliott Ellison II. Fiona Rhiannon Fields. Jared Ryan Starcher Fife. Jacob Bernard Filozoff. Anthony Ray Fleming. William Garrett Florence. All right. Levin James Fordyce.
Sir, congratulations.
Matthew Carr Fox. Selena Marine Francisco. You did it, man. You did it. I'm proud of you. Cameron Edward Freed. Congratulations. Anthony James Frontino.
Congratulations, man.
Alexis Michelle Full.
Congratulations.
Morgan Page Galloway. Congratulations. That's okay. Brandon William Gandy. Isn't it? Zarek Seth Garrison.
Congratulations. Good job. Congratulations.
Ashton Elizabeth Galt.
Congratulations, man.
Jessica Ann Yerke. Rachel Ann Gibson.
Oh, you get a hug. Congratulations.
Andrew David Nagy. Congratulations. Lindsay Marie Goodwin.
Congratulations, man. Proud of you.
Evan Michael Gowdy. Rachel Elizabeth Graham.
Congratulations, buddy.
Hannah Marie Gray.
Congratulations.
Zachary Allen Green. Kelsey Jean Green. Daniel Tun Ha. Anton Saudi Haddad.
Congratulations, man. Proud of you.
James Patino Haddix II.
Congratulations.
Callan Elizabeth Hager.
Congratulations, man. Never thought I'd see the day.
Emily Charlene Harrell.
Congratulations.
Annalisa Rolena Hall. Nicholas Robert Halley Jr.
Congratulations.
Murad Mirza Hamarani.
Congratulations, man.
Cheyenne Nicole Hardman.
Great job, brother.
Kenzie Lee Harmon. Raven Leanne Lachelle Harper.
Congratulations, man.
Dalton James Hart. Trophy Lee Page Hartford.
Sir, congratulations, man. You made it.
Brittany May Harvey.
Congratulations.
Matthew Nathaniel Hawk. Michael Ethan Hawk.
Congratulations, man.
Emma Lee Hirschman.
Congratulations, man. Are you welcome, buddy?
James Alva Hickle Jr. Stephen Ray Hickle.
Congratulations, man.
George Clark Hines.
Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations, man.
Lauren Victoria Hissam.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Austin Andrew Hively. Jennifer Lauren Hoffman. Ethan Gray Howard. Kimberly Ann Howard.
You made it, Mr. Howard. Congratulations.
Kyle James Howard. Isaac Shane Howell. Nicholas Channing Hubbard. Bryce Christian Hudson. Bennett Joe Hurley. Andrew Kobe Ingram.
Oh, you made it, man. I know it, right? Congratulations.
Brody Alexander Johnson.
Congratulations. Yep.
Anna Greer Johnston.
You made it, man. Congratulations.
Hunter Dean Churchill Jones. Ryan Creel Jones. Medline Marie Corey. Lindsay Marie Kiger. All right. Brandon Nathaniel Kincaid. Alexis Victoria Elizabeth Klotz. Jade Ella Kerner.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Kelsey Lorraine Kerner.
Thank you.
Alexa Paige Katarski. Daniel Albert Kramer. Lauren Elizabeth Kruger. Yosef Zaire Kumnagari. Austin Michael Kuffner. Megan Elizabeth Kuffner. Sakith Kiathari. I would now like to introduce Mrs. Carla McKay.
Congratulations, man. Yep, very proud of you.
Austin Nathaniel Lamp. Maximilian Lucas Lass. Amaya Jennifer Lauer. Hannah Elizabeth Lee. Will. William Keith Lamaster. Shoshana Alyssa Lemon. Alexis Paige Lindquist. Tyler Franklin Linsenbigler. Lindsay Marie Lonkella. Courtney Diana Lott. Krista Elizabeth Loudon. Parker Adam Lowe. James Michael Lutz. Devin Tyler Mace. Cameron Bruce Mace. Trevor Wesley Mace. Alexis Suzanne Mahoney. Orion May Marshall. Destiny McKenna Marshall. Jordan Patrick Marshall. Mackenzie Renee Martin. Jonathan Dexter Mason. Chase Ryan Mayo. Hayden Charles McAtee. Clyde Lee McCoy. David Lloyd McCoy.
Congratulations, man. You made it. Smile a little bit, will you?
Savannah Marie McCullen. Chandler Stephen McDowell. Sierra Dawn McElwain. Haley Nicole McIntyre. Caitlin Marie McIntosh. Paige Ann McKinney. Emily Jade McMillan. Seth Anthony McNichol. Nicholas David McVaney. Sarah Ann Meek. Adam Michael Meeks. Allison Cheyenne Mendoza. Trinity Marie Mendoza. David Adam Midcap. Sierra Danielle Midcap. What's your middle? Wait a minute. Damian Lee Miller. Jada Elizabeth Miller. Parker Gregory Miller. Welcome. Tylee Nicole Miller. John. John Abraham Mills. Bring it around here, girl. Dakota Tyler Moore. Cheyenne Lynn Morgan. Kristen Nicole Morgan. Avery Lee Morris. Olivia Gabrielle Mosier. Justin Lee Molinex. Anna Jo Peyton Muniz. Ahmad Ahmed Nasir. Inaki Ramon Navarro. Mr. Timothy Logan Nay. Aislinn Dawn Neff. Carson Bradley Nelson. Evan Michael Nestor. Andrew Justin Nolan. Brianna Faith Offenberger. Sky Lindsay Joe Oliphant. Devin James Hours. Joan Marie Owen. Madeline Jean Owen. Aaliyah Ashlyn Packer. Noah Kelsey Parker. Arabella Nicole Parsons. John Aaron Payne. Lindsay Renee Lee Payne. Bria Nicole Alexandria Pennybacker. David Joseph Perrine. You made it. Gavin Owen Perkins. Madison Paige Peters.
Did it, man. Proud of you.
Robert Ray Phillips. Yes.
Congratulations. Mr. Phillips, congratulations, man.
Jacob Ryan Pickens. Zoe Morgan Pingley.
Congratulations.
Mr. Potts. Gregory Alexander Potts.
Congratulations. Proud of you, man. Congratulations.
Michaela Marie Powell. Isaac Garrett Ray Prine. Michaela Nicole Randolph.
Congratulations, man. Proud of you. I hear you, man.
Joseph Curtis Rather. Oh my God. Braden Blake Ray.
Did it, man. Congratulations.
Noah Lane Rexroad.
Proud of you, brother. Congratulations.
Cody Gale Richards.
Mr. Rexroad, congratulations.
Dylan Michael Richards.
Thanks, man.
James Delmont Roberts III.
Did it, man.
Casey Ann Roberts. Joseph Oliver Robinson III. I would like now to introduce Mr. Brian Sprague.
My man. Proud of you. Really am.
Meredith Brooke Rogers. Cameron Michael Rose. Katie Ray Ross. Tori Sue Ross. Matthew Hunter Runyon. William Christopher Runyon.
Sir, congratulations. Proud of you.
Kate Louise Salmons.
Congratulations, man. Proud of you.
Christopher Jaden Santanastasi.
Congratulations.
Hunter Clayton Sargent.
Congratulations. Oh, thank you.
Kyle William Sato.
Congratulations.
Jared Adam Schmidt.
Congratulations.
Sophia Dawn Shank. Timothy Allen Sharp.
So proud of you.
Sammy Lee Shears. Joseph Samuel Shepard. Kyle Eric Shoemaker. Michael Aiden Shrewsbury. Shanry Lynn Shuttler. Shane Robert Sibley. Stacy Ann Simmons. Casey Murray Sink. Tristan Robert Sisk. Haley Wilma Smar. Brendan Michael Smith. Brian Nathaniel Smith. Kate McLaughlin Snyder. Carly Lyndon Saville. Tristan Michael Spence. Bryce Charles Sponsler. Maria Rose Springer. Matthew Barnett St. Clair. Brandon Kyle Stallnecker. Abby Elizabeth Stanley. Brandy Elizabeth Stanley. Brianna Ellen Stanley. Ethan Connor Stanley. Nathaniel Allen Steed. Caleb Andrew Stone. Peter Wyatt Strobel. Dawn Virginia Stutler. Jacob Arco Summers. Devin Lee Burrell Sutphin. Abigail Lynn Tanner. Chloe Tanel Tani. Drayden Michael Taylor. Bryce Christopher Sean Taylor. Kaylin Nicole Taylor. Allison Blake Terrell. Jillian Nicole Thomas. Haley Joe Thomas. Austin Tyler Thrasher. William Joseph Touchtone Jr. Cameron Russ Tracewell. Ashley Nicole Tripler. Haley Renee Turley. Logan Chance Turner. Whitley Marie Uppel. Victoria Ray Valentine. Zachary Thomas Van Camp. Arthur Noe Valerian Van Colen. Samantha Rianne Greathouse Van Fousen. Orion Neal Vion. Colby J. Wagner.
Unbelievable, man. Congratulations.
Tyler Michael Wagster.
Good job, man.
Devin Aaron Walker.
Made it, man.
Skylar Dylan Walsh.
Congratulations. I'll try. Congratulations.
Kyle David Walther.
Good job, Skylar.
Ethan Michael Weinchick.
Good job, man. Congratulations.
Isaac Alexander Waters.
Congratulations.
Addison Elizabeth Watkins. Ethan Morris Weaver. Bethany Amber Welch.
Congratulations, man.
Sierra Lane Wells. Katrina Mae West.
Congratulations.
Xylee Novino Westfall. Cassidy Nicole Wetz. Maria O'Reilly Showalter Wharton.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Ashley Nicole Whitehair. Brianna Faith Waggle. Connor James Waggle.
You did it. You did it. Congratulations.
Sylvia Annette Wilhelm.
Oh, my goodness, man. Congratulations. I'm going to keep shaking this hand.
Heidi Nicole Williams.
Well, thank you. Congratulations.
Chandler Brock Williamson. Andrew Cole Willison. Matthew David Wilson. Taylor Renee Wentz.
Congratulations, man. Proud of you.
Austin Matthew Wise.
Congratulations. Just walk down this way, guys. Oh, here you go. You get pulled.
Devin Trey Allen Wolf.
Congratulations, man. Very proud of you, brother. Yep.
Annie Catherine Woofter.
Congratulations.
Darian Marie Wright.
Congratulations.
Megan Elizabeth Wright. Mia Gabrielle Yeager. Melody May Yoke.
Congratulations.
Sydney Rose Zecca.
Congratulations.
Anna Louise Fada.
Congratulations.
Nia Maria Fernandez. Catherine Grace Farinash.
Congratulations.
Sierra Brooke Hoy. Catherine Maria Thompson.
Oh, no, you can have a hug.
Leslie Mackey James.
Hey, we got you. Congratulations, sir. You're welcome.
Congratulations.
This concludes the presentation of diplomas. Please show your appreciation to the graduating class of 2018.
Good
Hey, Zion, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Katie, you're up whenever you want to.
All right. Turn our tassels to the right and eyes to the future.
In case you didn't know what was going on, I had about half the student body handing me marbles as they walked by. And I think it's a good sign to let them know, they're telling me that I've lost my marbles, or they're trying to get it all back to me for those who have taken them away. But I appreciate you guys a lot, I really do. Okay. Oh, thanks. We will now have the class song, composed by Braden Ray and written by Greg Potts. Graduates, please stand and face the choir for your class song.
Oh man, we gotta step out a little bit. Oh, we'll just move it. That's what?
I have 2 gaps.
Longing for the embrace of that gentle place that's so close to my heart. My heart. Longing for a home when I stand alone, afraid to be set apart.
see you.
I'm glad you guys are. What's that? I think you all missed your cue. You can throw your hats now. You guys are up.
You may be seated. Hi, I'm Catherine Thompson, the treasurer of the class of 2018. Thank you for being here tonight to witness the commencement ceremony of the class of 2018. We appreciate your patience and attentiveness as we said farewell to our beloved School of Champions and became alumni. Thank you once again for being here to celebrate with us.
Hi, I'm Leslie James, the Secretary of the Class of 2018, and this message is specifically for you, the graduates. If you haven't already bought your tickets for the all-night party, it isn't too late. It all takes place at the YMCA on Broad Street from 10:30 p.m. to 4 a.m. These tickets are available at the door for $25. There will be food, prizes, food, games, food, activities, and have I mentioned food? It may be your last chance to say goodbye to that friend you'll never see again, so don't miss it. Thank you and good night.
No, you don't leave. Sit down. Well, you made it. All the years of work have paid off. What seemed like an eternity has finally come to pass. When we are young, we feel as if time crawls by. When we get older, we feel as if time flies by. Actually, time does pass quickly. As you prepare to leave this evening, I want you to think of this one thing. I want you to be the master of your abilities. Responsibility. Execute your role you're given, no matter what you do in life. Do your job completely. Accountability. Take ownership of what you do and the decisions you make. Dependability. Can we count on you? Can others count on you? The best are never late, they're always early. Sustainability. Sustain your performance every day. Be the best that you can be. And last but not least, availability. Be available for your friends and your family every single day. Finally, no matter where the road takes you, no matter what you end up accomplishing in your life, at the end of the day, always remember this. Once a Big Red, always a Big Red. May God bless you today, tomorrow, and always. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. We love you. We are now ready to conclude the graduation of the class of 2018. We ask that the audience remain seated until all of the graduates and faculty members have exited. Will the class of 2018 please stand? Mr. White, you may have the music for the recession.